For the past decade, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been Hollywood's golden boy, seamlessly transitioning from the ring to the big screen and establishing himself as one of the highest paid actors in the world. The 6'5" movie star then quickly became a motivational powerhouse to the people. From his inspiring workout posts and his charitable donations, his whole story was a true rags to riches tale.
And now your company is called $7. Why is that?
$7. So my goal was to play in the NFL, but that didn't happen for me. I went up to the Canadian Football League. I played up there. I said, God, let me see how much money I got. I pulled out my wallet, I opened it up. I took out a 5, a 1, and change. And that's why we have $7. $7.
But while you might think that he's just smiles, box office hits, and muscles, there's a much darker side to this man than you might have imagined. From public feuds with co-stars to a pattern of on-set behaviors that cost studios millions, The Rock would become known for hijacking entire franchises, as well as twisting the truth over the tiniest issues. But now, a shocking transformation at the 2025 Venice Film Festival leaves many wondering what sinister truth lurks below the surface of Dwayne Johnson's public image. It's your boy Luesta, and this is the dark side of The Rock. To unpack this tale of how the public perception of this megastar began to slip out of his grasp, it all begins with the hidden warnings that appeared over a decade ago on the set of Fast and Furious. When The Rock joined the famed franchise back in 2011 to share the spotlight with Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, and Sung Kang, fans went absolutely wild. Some even said that the addition of Luke Hobbs, The Rock's character, practically saved the entire franchise. Although The Rock has proven to be a key character in the Fast family, earning millions of dollars and gaining his own fan base, things weren't as smooth as they appeared to be on screen. See, it was often reported that The Rock was a nightmare to work with. According to insider sources, he was always showing up late for production, and sometimes he didn't even show up at all. And what's even crazier is that he would have the audacity to make a post on Instagram suggesting that some of his co-stars weren't being professional. My females are always amazing and I love them. My male co-stars, however, are a different story. Some conduct themselves as true professionals, while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken to do anything about it anyways. Candy asses. Although he later deleted the posts, fans speculated that the jab might have been aimed at Vin Diesel, as there were rumors that Vin had crashed out on The Rock because of his questionable acting. But despite all the buzz, Vin wouldn't engage with the discourse until the movie was done. My approach at the time was a lot of tough love to assist in getting that performance where it needed to be. We had to get there, and sometimes I could give a lot of tough love. But The Rock obviously didn't believe in Vin's idea of tough love, as he would hold on to the beef, even to the point of deliberately omitting Vin's name when acknowledging everyone involved in the production of Fast 8. The disputes on set were bad enough, but they were only the beginning of something even more concerning.
But you know, The Rock and Vin Diesel couldn't be on set at the same time. They hate each other so bad. They had to shoot different scenes and shoot it so it looked like someone was there. They hate each other so much.
Didn't the Rock gotten a big thing with Tyrese too, right?
Tyrese just flipping out because all he has is Fast and Furious.
Really?
So that when The Rock did a spinoff, he's like, "How dare you? We're a family." Rock was like, "No, we're not."
Well,
they gave me a spinoff, dumbass.
But remember when The Rock was shitting on his music?
That was fantastic.
That guy, you know what he does? He just goes to the gym.
The Rock
with 2 hours sleep.
A lot of steroids.
You think?
Joe.
Do you really?
You think he's getting big like that from cocaine again?
Cocaine again? He used to do cocaine?
No, I'm saying the John Jones thing.
Jason Statham and The Rock refuse to lose fights against one another.
Jason Statham, come on, bro.
That actors including Jason Statham, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Vin Diesel have contracts demanding that limit the amount of punishment their characters take in fights.
Because they don't want to look like bitches.
Oh, good lord.
You imagine telling your agent that? I'm down to do it, man. I read through the script. When he punches me in the face, I'm not going down, bro. I'm not doing it. You imagine doing that?
You see, at this point, the problem wasn't that The Rock couldn't stand Vin Diesel on set. It was the fact that he wanted his own spotlight in the franchise, so he could manipulate things as he pleased. Which was weird, considering the whole show started with Vin Diesel. But eventually, when he couldn't have it his way, The Rock would make a shocking move most co-stars would never forgive. On the 5th of October 2017, Universal suddenly announced a release date for a new Fast and Furious spin-off, but this time, it was only starring The Rock and Jason Statham. This came as a complete shock to Fast fans, cause 1, why are we doing a spin-off? And 2, why is The Rock at the forefront of this movie? Attempting to rewrite one of the biggest franchises out of his selfish interest completely shattered every image of loyalty fans once had of him. And this is sad considering the fact that the man who once called himself the people's champion made his choices clear when it came down to choosing between himself and the Fast family. Surprisingly, the spinoff did really well, grossing over $700 million with a budget of $200 million, and The Rock probably felt a sense of pride as he proved that he could do it without Vin. However, to everyone else, the movie didn't really stick to what the Fast and Furious franchise stood for, which left most fans confused in the process. Y'all remember when Fast and Furious was just about racing and family? For starters, the main villains from the franchise were suddenly fighting budget Terminator who could somehow lift a car at will. And let's not even talk about the dozens of corny lines in forced comedy.
It's your nasally, prepubescent Harry Potter voice. Every time you speak, just imagine this for a second. It's like dragging my balls across shattered glass. And it hurts.
Many argue that The Rock's Hobbs and Shaw had the potential of causing serious damage to the entire franchise, and some would straight up call him out, including the fan favorite Tyrese Gibson, who openly blasted The Rock in an Instagram post. Congratulations to The Rock for making the Fast and Furious franchise about you. This led The Rock to clap back in vicious form by targeting Tyrese's music career, spawning a quote that you probably heard out of context in a million other places since.
Just a little quick shout out to Tyrese, his new album, Black Rose. I just heard it. I literally just heard it. I heard the whole thing in my trailer, and I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard. Everyone's laughing, by the way, but it's true because everybody's heard it too. Everyone heard it, right? They look at everyone's like, yeah, big piece of dog shit. Shouldn't be called Black Rose, it should be called big piece of black dog shit. That's what it should be called. Not even the hard, dried up dog shit for 7 days. It's the soft dog shit. It's like baby shit. It's like that. That's what the album is like. And I never want to hear it again, and I'm never gonna fucking forgive him for wasting my time. That is time I will never get back. It's like dog shit is in my ear, motherfucker.
However, what many didn't realize was that The Rock's relentless need to dominate was deeply rooted. You see, from the very beginning during his wrestling days, The Rock learned that if he wanted to be widely accepted, he had to protect his aura and never appear small in any way. Since then, he has stuck with this way of thinking. That's why he adds some strange rules to his contracts. One of them says his characters can't ever lose a fight on screen, and they can't even take too much of a beating. On the surface, protecting his action hero image looked like a business move. But when you think about it deeply, you could see his ego on full display. Cause even in fiction, The Rock couldn't afford to look weak, and little by little, that indestructible persona started looking less like discipline and more like control. But it wasn't just his on-screen rivals dealing with this clause. Producers and directors struggled too, especially since fight scenes needed to be filmed around his rules and his rules only. Sometimes, he even brought his own crew just to make sure he always looked good for the cameras. Even the writers struggled to bend storylines just to ensure The Rock's contract wasn't breached. And it's so bad that he can't even afford to lose a simple game.
Can we do rock, paper, scissors?
Yes.
Rock, paper, scissors. I won!
Well, no,
Wait,
yeah,
do you
see,
want-
we're
wait.
supposed to be rock, paper, scissors, go.
Oh, what?
This is
No,
cheat. What kind
I-
of bullshit?
No, sorry,
is
I
this?
think I just think I won.
You just cheated.
No, I think I just won.
This no-lose mindset killed the ups and downs of his characters, making the fight scenes feel flat, boring, and predictable. And slowly, the viewers began to catch on. You can tell that's in The Rock contract. He seems invincible in every movie. The Rock definitely ruins his fights in movies for me. He's gonna win anyway. Makes his movies boring. And immediately, his illusion of an inspirational, hard-working hero who'd made it to the top with just $7 in his pocket began to crumble because behind the mask was an ordinary man who couldn't accept defeat, not even when it was scripted. The no-lose clause was just a glimpse of how far The Rock would go to uphold his powerful image. However, nothing would compare to when DC presented him with the chance to step into the world of superheroes, where his ego was allowed to come to the fore like never before. But this time, it would come at a cost to the point that it destroyed an entire creative enterprise. To The Rock, the new live-action DC character wasn't just another role, it was an opportunity to take over. Cause instead of sliding nearly into the puzzle of the DC extended universe, The Rock decided the puzzle needed to be reworked with him right at the center. Basically, bro wanted to be Thanos. Now, it wouldn't be a surprise if he had requested the Superman role, considering his hunger to be the strongest, but he would end up with something quite close in Black Adam.
We will create Black Adam for him to be the most powerful and unstoppable force on this planet. The most powerful and unstoppable force in the entire universe.
And since then, The Rock never misses the opportunity to assert just how superior Black Adam was to Superman.
For example, like Black Adam has all the powers of Superman, but Superman won't kill because he has a code of honor and a code of ethics, which we appreciate and love, but Black Adam will kill you.
Because of the opinions he expressed, some fans suspected that he saw the Black Adam role as an opportunity to take over DC. Rock wanted two things. One was that he could take over the management role of DC with Black Adam before any indication that it would be good or successful. And two, he wanted zero connection with Shazam at all. Not wanting anything to do with Shazam was weird, considering that's where Black Adam's story naturally belonged. And despite fans pointing out the obvious connections, The Rock just didn't care. Instead, he bragged about personally convincing Warner Bros. To bring Henry Cavill back for a cameo, hoping to reignite the excitement of fans who have long missed seeing Superman on their screens. At this point, it became clear that The Rock might actually have his eye out for a much bigger role behind the scenes. This created some serious tension, because Warner Bros. Never really wanted Cavill back at the time. Still, he pushed past their objections and forced the cameo in. And then, there were whispers of The Rock proposing to fix the DC Extended Universe, which hinted at his desire to run the show like he did with the Fast franchise. But to his shock, it all crumbled when Black Adam flopped at the box office, pulling in just $390 million on a $260 million budget. You see, in the movie world, a film needs to at least recoup 3 times the budget to be considered a success, because that figure doesn't account for the money they put in to market it. So while it technically outgrossed its budget, the movie was still a total flop. To make things worse, fans piled on the movie, with many failing to connect with the character at all, and some just not being impressed. The DCEU decided to dump a massive $260 million on a movie where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson plays himself, but in a costume. The movie became a dent in DC's already struggling reputation, so much so that they had to reappoint new leaders in Peter Safran and James Gunn, with promises of better films in the future. Instead of accepting the failure, The Rock doubled down, posting financial reports that painted the film as profitable. Our film will profit between $52 million to $72 million, at almost $400 million worldwide. But critics saw right through the smokescreen, calling him out for trying to save face by posting numbers he fabricated himself. The Rock couldn't cope with the fact that his movie flopped, so he shared fake and misleading data to make it seem like his movie is more successful than it actually is. Just take the L and keep it pushing. The spin became even more embarrassing than the actual flop, because his need to always win made it painfully obvious he couldn't accept the loss, especially after getting kicked out by DC's new CEO, James Gunn.
What's the reason or the reasons for the stopping of Black Adam?
I think that Black Adam got caught in a vortex of new leadership.
But even after he lost his position in the superhero realm, Dwayne wasn't about to let go of the spotlight, and this time he was coming for the holiday season. In 2024, The Rock teamed up with Chris Evans on a new project. This Christmas blockbuster, The Red One, was supposed to be his next big franchise, and proof that even after the Black Adam fiasco, he was still a bankable Hollywood star. But just when it seemed like he couldn't sink any lower, this project pulled the curtain back on his on-set behavior. The Rock would show up hours late to set, forcing the entire crew to shoot around him. On other days, he simply didn't show up at all, costing Amazon millions in reshoots and rescheduling. Although his absence might be a little upsetting, his presence was even worse. As recalled by one of the crew members, on set, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go to the public bathroom. He pees in a water bottle, and his team or a PA has to dispose of it. Ew. As bizarre as that might sound, it probably isn't far from the truth, considering he once admitted to peeing in bottles in the past.
Never seen before on the market in a training shoe. And I just realized you just saw my big bottle of pee. Look, I go hardcore when I train. I don't have time to go to the bathroom. I find a bottle, I pee in it, and I keep training like a beast.
Despite these obvious red flags, the studio's rep tried to cover up for Dwayne Johnson, claiming that working with him was nothing but smooth, also dismissing every report of DJ showing up late to set as both ridiculous and false. Which is insane, because it's no secret that The Rock has a thing for being late both to film sets and important events.
Are you booing because The Rock was supposed to be here at 4 o'clock? Is that why you were booing? Why was The Rock late? You want to know? You want to know why The Rock was late? He was watching YouTube.
As clearly, he feels his time is more valuable than everyone else's. Anyway, by the end of the production of Red One, there was an extra $50 million cost on top of the initial $200 million budget, which was clearly a result of The Rock's actions. As if that wasn't enough, the release date for the movie ended up being pushed to December 2023 to November 2024. When it finally dropped, it only grossed $189 million, despite its $250 million budget. Again, another flop to The Rock's resume. For someone who branded himself as the ultimate professional for years, this painted a picture of a star whose ego and personal gain came before anything else. As his career progressed, his true priorities have came into shocking focus. The Rock wasn't just an actor, he was a brand, and one of those things that separated him from everyone else in Hollywood was his monstrous physique, which got fans drooling to look like him. And The Rock, being aware of the attention, completely leaned in, flooding the internet with endless gym sessions, even launching his own fitness gear collection.
All right, this one goes out to all my midnight oil burners out there. You know who you are. This is the brand new Project Rock PR6. I'm rocking them right now as I'm wrapping up my leg workout.
With his influence at this point, he could sell just about anything, which is exactly what he did. From energy drinks to his Teremana tequila, the business machine never stopped, and for a while, many considered this genius. Even Forbes called his tequila one of the most fastest growing and most popular celebrity spirits out there. But eventually, the shine began to wear off. See, due to his need to make a quick buck with his influence, The Rock started to look like a walking billboard, with every Instagram post feeling like another ad and every gym routine turning into a pitch. And the breaking point came when he started endorsing products that made absolutely no sense to him.
My hair would have loved this 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. Boy.
This man has no business in the shampoo department.
Promoting a hair product despite constantly reflecting the sun got fans questioning everything about him, including his insane muscular build. Critics argue that The Rock's physique simply looked too flawless to be natural, especially for someone his age.
There's not a fucking chance in hell he's clean.
No.
Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50?
In an interview with MTV back in 2009, The Rock admitted to trying steroids at 18, which made his "I'm a natural hard worker" act very questionable. But we can't really say if he's continued using steroids or not, at least for now. However, this deliberate need to appear likable is a pattern you'd see when you look at his career over the years. And even when he didn't do anything wrong, he would still find a way to make sure he protected his fragile image at all costs. This was exactly the case during the wildfire at Maui. When a tragic wildfire devastated Maui in 2023, The Rock teamed up with Oprah Winfrey to render some help.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui, and so we have created the People's Fund of Maui that will put money directly in the hands of the people who need it right now. So if you send a donation, just click where you see below and send a donation. That money is going to go to one of many residents who have been displaced in Maui.
Although this was for a good cause, something about the way it was presented seemed to strike a nerve. People were not upset about the idea of helping Maui, but from their perspective, two multimillionaires asking regular people to donate was seriously wrong. The backlash was so overwhelming that it got to the point where The Rock felt like the need to release an apology video, despite not really doing anything wrong, besides donating $5 million of his own money.
When we first launched the fund, there was some backlash that came with launching the fund, and I want to address and acknowledge that backlash right now. And here's what I have to say about that. I get it, and I completely understand, and I could have been better, and next time I will be better.
If we are being honest, he didn't need to apologize in the first place, but the fact that he did only showed his lack of convictions beyond restraining the public's love and affection. The entire apology seemed like something he felt forced to do for the sake of maintaining a pristine image, which undoubtedly ties to The Rock's strange obsession with needlessly lying and being fake. First off, we have his fast food fiasco, where he has a thing for always being a first-timer at In-N-Out. Back in 2017, he visited In-N-Out and even took pictures with the staff. Then in 2022, he showed off his cheat meal, which he apparently hadn't tried before.
It is Sunday night, approximately 11 p.m. It is Cheat Meal Sunday for all of us around the world, certainly for me here. And the reason why this is history in the making is because this is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger, or In-N-Out fries, or anything from In-N-Out for that matter.
Which might be true because he also pointed this out.
Now, I've picked up some In-N-Out burger before through the drive-thru a few times for some buddies of mine. I've never tried it, so this is a first.
However, just a year later, he would post another video with the caption, "My first ever In-N-Out experience," which led to some serious suspicions and subsequent backlash.
It seems like every time In-N-Out Burgers puts a coin in his pocket, his mind is erased and he remembers nothing and he goes back to In-N-Out to promote.
The Rock would quietly change his caption, playing it off as a joke. Maybe there were small lies, tiny exaggerations here and there, but they still chipped away at the perfect image he worked so hard to protect. Because if The Rock was faking even the simplest stories, what else was part of the act? And that question would linger right up to January 2024, when The Rock shocked the world once again. This time, not with a blockbuster movie, but by stepping back into the world that made him a star. The Rock joined the WWE, not exactly as a full-time wrestler, but as a member of the board of directions. Soon after, he teased something even bigger, a grand return to the ring. Although The Rock was just a board member, his contract gave him the privilege to alter the wrestling storylines. And to no one's surprise, he once again used it to his selfish advantage, setting up a clash with the wrestling champion Roman Reigns, which he promised could be the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
Are we gonna see you?
Well, look, you guys know, I feel like you know me, I'm a long gamer.
Yeah.
And I like to build. And this is something like this. What this is, if myself and Roman Reigns were to main event WrestleMania, and I mean this very respectfully of all the WrestleManias prior, because I grew up in this business and I love it, we could possibly put on the greatest and the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
But there was a problem. To make room for The Rock's storyline, fan favorite Cody Rhodes, who has spent years building his momentum, was suddenly pushed aside. The reactions were brutal, and the official WWE clip racked up over 500,000 likes, with the hashtag Cody Deserves Better dominating the timelines. For the first time in decades, The Rock wasn't the hero anymore. He became the villain, accused of stealing the spotlight. Is it just me, or does Cody look absolutely heartbroken in that video? It's a shame after all the work he put in. The Rock has lived long enough to see him become the villain. However, this time around, The Rock wouldn't have his way. Because of the immense backlash from fans, WWE was forced to kick The Rock out of the storyline, bringing back Cody to his rightful place, where he finally claimed the title from Roman Reigns. Now, I've mentioned this before, but let's take a minute to appreciate just how shredded The Rock was at 50 to even think of attempting a comeback in one of the most physical forms of entertainment. His physique is second to none, and has been one of the driving factors for his consistent popularity over the years. But what happens when The Rock becomes the Pebble? In September 2025, at the Venice Film Festival, The Rock stepped onto the red carpet looking completely different. The crazy physique we've all known was suddenly gone. Instead, he looked leaner, smaller, and almost unrecognizable. The Rock had suddenly lost more than 50 pounds of muscle. Some celebrated the transformation, believing he looked healthier and finally free from the pressure of staying superhuman, while others were speculating whether the weight loss was tied to health issues he spoke about months ago. However, there was one dark theory that seemed to pick up a lot of steam. See, a vast majority of people believed that The Rock had finally come off the steroids he's been using for decades, and some would go further to speculate that he likely crashed after using even more steroids for the Mark Kerr biopic, The Smashing Machine.
Afterwards, crazy.
How about The
Look at
Rock?
that picture of him next to it, the sad truth. Oh my God, that's crazy.
How about The Rock had to get on more steroids to play him in a biopic? That's how big Mark Kerr was. They're like, hey,
If you want
Rock,
it
we
to
need
be
you to play Mark
legit.
Kerr. We need you to get him on more steroids.
I slimmed down. I bet getting that big probably felt like shit.
Well, someone was like, hey, your heart's going to explode, right? And number two, you got to
50.
However, because of all the speculations, The Rock would be forced to respond, explaining the factors that led to his sudden weight loss.
We're going to make a film called Lizard Music, which is based off of a novel written by Daniel Pinkwater. And the role that I will play is a very whimsical and eccentric 70-something-year-old man called the Chicken Man. And his best friend is a 70-something-year-old chicken.
The reason for all his weight loss is he's going to be starring in a new movie called Lizard Music, where he plays a 70-year-old man whose best friend is a chicken.
On the surface, that seems like a reasonable response to fans, but let's not forget that he conveniently left out the part about the steroids, which would once again make people pile on him.
Do you think he's going to admit to coming off of steroids, HRT, SARMs, peptides, growth hormone, any of this stuff?
However, The Rock further defended that the speculations were completely false, which was met with criticism.
However, the show looks like it's finally coming to an end. He recently found out that he had plaque buildup in his circumflex artery from his decades of gear use, probably why he decided to hop off.
And so The Rock, after listening to this, says, this is 100% not true. I mean, to say 100% not true is to act as if nothing he said is true in that statement. And so, what exactly is The Rock commenting on? That he was never on steroids? That he didn't abuse performance-enhancing drugs?
But whether The Rock was lying or not truly didn't matter, because he lost the very thing that made him The Rock. And when it came in conjunction with everything else that had come to light, it represented the moment where nothing Dwayne Johnson said could be taken at face value anymore. And when the public loses its faith in you, especially when it results from feeding your ego and putting your own interests before anyone else, then it's a long road to regain the love you once had from the masses. So if he's not careful, The Rock's worst fears of irrelevance and loss of revenue might just come true.